Every year, nearly $500 billion of fake products cross international borders. That number, $500 billion, is not an estimate from a brand trying to protect its profits. It comes from the OECD, one of the world's most trusted economic institutions. And yet most people still think counterfeiting is about fake handbags in a market stall. That assumption is the reason this industry keeps growing. Because the real counterfeit economy is not about luxury goods. It's about fake medicines killing children. It's about criminal organizations worth billions of dollars. It's about a hidden supply chain that moves through your inbox, your mailbox, and the companies you trust most. Today we're going to pull that world apart, piece by piece, and show you exactly how it works, why it keeps growing, and why the people running it are far smarter than most governments want to admit. Part on. The numbers nobody agrees on. Let's start with the money, because the scale of this industry is the first thing that surprises most people. In 2021, the OECD and the European Union's Intellectual Property Office estimated global cross-border trade in counterfeit and pirated goods at $467 billion. That's roughly the size of the entire economy of South Africa, moving through shipping containers, post offices, and online marketplaces every single year. But here's where it gets complicated. That number only counts trade that crosses international borders and gets detected by customs. It does not count fake goods made and sold inside the same country. It does not count the enormous damage done to workers, hospitals, and governments who never see a single fake product but still pay the price. When private researchers tried to include all of those costs, the lost jobs, the unpaid taxes, the organized crime links, the public health damage, they estimated the true economic and social cost of counterfeiting was approaching $2.8 trillion by 2022. Now, those two numbers are not measuring the same thing. One is a trade flow estimate. One is a total damage estimate. Both are real. And the gap between them is precisely what makes this industry so hard to stop. You can seize a shipment. You cannot seize the economy that created it. Part 2. Why counterfeiting is the perfect crime. Here's something that doesn't get discussed enough. Counterfeiting isn't just a crime that happens to be profitable. It is arguably the most structurally efficient illegal business ever designed. Think about what a legitimate company must do before it can sell a single product. It must pay for research and development. It must run safety tests. It must certify those tests with regulators. It must hire lawyers to protect its intellectual property. It must pay corporate taxes, follow labor laws, build customer service departments, issue product recalls when things go wrong, and spend millions on advertising just to be taken seriously. Every one of those costs is priced into what you pay at the register. A counterfeiter eliminates almost every single one of those costs in a single decision. They steal the design instead of creating it. They skip safety testing entirely. They pay no taxes, follow no labor laws, and if their product harms someone, they simply disappear and reopen under a different name. The result is a cost structure that legitimate businesses cannot compete with and profit margins that rival any industry on earth. And unlike drug trafficking or arms smuggling, shipping a fake handbag in a postal package carries far lower legal penalties in most countries. High profit. Low risk. Global reach. Part 3. The two very different beers. Most people assume counterfeit goods work on deception. A buyer thinks they're getting a real product, and they end up with a fake. That happens, and when it does, the economic harm is clear. The consumer was cheated. The legitimate company lost a sale. But here's what the data actually shows, and this is the part that changes the whole conversation. A 2023 survey by the European Union Intellectual Property Office found that 13% of Europeans deliberately bought counterfeit products in the previous year. Among people aged 15 to 24, that number was 26%. 1 in 4 young people across Europe knowingly chose a fake. And 1/3 of all Europeans said buying counterfeit goods is acceptable if the genuine product is too expensive. Among young people, that rose to 1 in 2. So why would someone knowingly buy a fake luxury handbag or a pair of fake designer sneakers? The answer is not stupidity. It's psychology. Luxury brands do not sell leather and metal. They sell identity. They sell the social message that comes with being seen carrying a certain logo. And that message, unlike the product itself, can be imitated almost perfectly. When someone buys a fake Louis Vuitton bag for $80, they're not confused about what they're buying. They're making a calculated trade. They want the social signal without paying for the authentic object behind it. This is why economists sometimes describe high-end counterfeiting as unauthorized price discrimination, a black market version of what airlines do when they sell the same seat at different prices to different customers. But this creates a problem that runs deeper than individual choice. Because when enough people carry the same logo, real or fake, the exclusivity that made that logo valuable in the first place begins to erode.